Hey Diamonds, what's going on? So I am catching up on Real Housewives of Durban, and I'm doing my best to, understand it as best I can, because I really like these ladies and I really like this show, and I think it just has the potential to be really, really good. But their accents are very thick, and I'm just trying to get in there, every other dialect, every other situation, and own it so I can commentate on it. With that being said, so you got No Cool and Toby. They was friends before they got on this show. And, a lot of times these friendships that's been like long-term friendships before they get on this TV, and it just separates, and it already has started with them because No Cool feel, when they went to the Diwali dinner, and it was thrown out there that, Ayanda's husband was No Cool's baby daddy. You understand? I think, No Cool probably felt like, well, you paying her compliments and shit, because she, Tobu probably was looking at the gospel singer wife like, wow, this is his wife, and she right here. So she was giving her compliments, and No Cool was like, bitch, I don't like that. I was trying to, put it out there that my daughter was her husband's, and, you was too busy giving compliments and didn't have my goddamn back. And, what's up with that, basically? And I think Toby is like, well, bitch, I'm not picking sides, you know what I'm saying? I'm trying to be a grown woman, you understand? Y'all can talk about it and figure it out. Why I gotta pick sides? And I think No Cool was like, well, I'm not trying to get you to pick sides, bitch, but I'm just trying to figure out where the support was, where your loyalty is, because I needed your support in that moment. You ain't gotta pick sides, but you could have supported me when I was telling her about my daughter, me having a daughter with her husband. Child. Yeah, let's go see how this friendship gonna work out, child. But with that being said, I can appreciate Ayanda and No Cool, trying to be mature, about getting together and bringing the children together so the children can have a relationship, child. But I just feel like if that husband was still alive, this shit will go left and be some sister wives shit. Do you understand me? Because I think there is some resentment there. Because even the newcomer that came on, LaConco, right? Her accent is very thick, and she knows limited English. So I'm trying to, figure her out. But I will say this. I think even she think that it's not sincere. But we just don't know who being fake and who being sincere about trying to come together for the children, because the ladies have already said, Ayanda, you can't really read her. Y'all don't know what she thinking and how she really feel. So who knows? Because I think it's a lot of resentment there. I think Ayanda feel, your baby is the break baby. Me and my husband, was separated or broken up at the time, and he had a good time with you, and the kid came out of it, but that's my husband. And I think Nunku got the kind of resentment, like, well, when I got pregnant, we broke up. He went back to your ass and built a life and had all this luxuriousness, and I was left with just a baby, because No Cool turned around and got married but got a divorce because he was abusive. And I just think, as she talk about him, I could just tell that there's some unresolved feelings there. I think she was really in love with him up until he died. I do. And, maybe this is closure for her, but I don't know. But either way, I'm going to try to understand, and I'm watching.
Is this her first plus-size housewife? Like, legit? Oh, my God. Queen.
Housewife, her name is Sarisha. She's from a Indian background. That's her culture. So what she did, she had like a Diwali dinner and invited all other women to come. Well, there's this particular situation that I'm kind of drawn to. And there's a housewife named Ayanda. Now, Ayanda was married to this very famous gospel South African singer. He has passed away, right? And they got children and, money, just rich. And there's another housewife. Her name is Nunku, who's now divorced from her husband. Child, Ayanda, she done came to the dinner. She was the last one to come, right? That should have just told me something then when everybody else was there. All the other 5 housewives and the 6th one came late. Baby, when she arrived, Nunku whole face changed, right? So Ayanda introducing herself to everybody, Annie, KG, everybody at the table. So Nunku had this look on her face and basically told Ayanda, you know me. And so Ayanda is like, I know you. How do I know you? And she was like, never mind, we'll talk about it later, but you know me, right? So Ann, aka Annie, with her little messy boots, she like, well, what's the tea? What's the elephant in the room? The way you greeted her, you said she know you. So how does she know you? And so Nunku was like, we'll talk about it later. And he was like, well, no, we want to know, what's the tea? So Nunku told Ayanda, well, you do know me. And Ayanda said, well, how? And she said, because my daughter is your late husband's daughter. So Ayanda whole face changed. So basically what happened was, right, because they at the table, and Nunku, she was like, yeah, my daughter looked just like him, play the piano like him, sing like him, everything she do, everybody say, that is your baby daddy. Because I can't remember his name, it's so something like that. I don't want to mess people's names up. But so I'm going to just say the husband, the gospel singer, right? So she was like, yeah, everybody tells my daughter how she look like him, do everything like him. And I don't know if Nunku was trying to take a jab at Ayanda. Child. So here go the background, see. So Ayanda, the next day, she has a lunch date with her best friend named Popo K, who thinks he's a Kardashian. Child, the Kardashians is known all over the world, honey. She tells him, well, guess what? I went to Sarisha's Diwali dinner, and guess who I saw? And he like, well, who you see, bitch? And she was like, Nunku. And so, Popo was like, well, be specific, because who is that? Come to find out, Ayanda and her gospel single husband broke up. So when they broke up, he met Nunku and had a daughter with her. Child. And then obviously got back with Ayanda. Child, the messiness of it all. Meanwhile, Nunku over there telling her mama the queen and her sister the tea. Like, yeah, guess who I saw came to the Diwali dinner acting like she didn't know who I was. And they was like, well, who? She was like, Ayanda. She was like, no, not the gospel single wife. Ayanda. She was like, Nunku was like, yeah, she gonna act like she ain't know me. She knew who I was. Child, what is the tea? What is going on? Ayanda, what's going on? Because I'm telling me it's something else to this Nunku and your husband situation, child. But come to find out, Ayanda, you seem like you know tea about everybody's husband, because you told Annie, who husband is a famous guru in South Africa and got some nightclubs. You said you knew who her husband.
Hi there guys, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Salula. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and also share this video. So Bravo has announced that the Real Housewives of Durban is now available to be streamed on their network in America, you guys. And American fans have reacted to the reality show, and judging from the tweets and TikTok videos, they really loved Ayanda Ncwane. They dislike Laqongo because she does not open up about her personal life, and have dragged Annie for her bad wigs and said her attitude stinks, you guys, and that she doesn't look like someone who owns a salon, judging by the bad hair and wigs she wears on the show. They have also dragged Nunku Williams for always being on Ayanda Ncwane's neck about her late husband Siso Ncwane. So they asked, what is it that Nunku wants from Ayanda? Because yes, she does have a child with her late husband, but why is that Ayanda's business, you guys? Other than that, the Americans are really hooked on the show. Congratulations to the franchise for making such an impact on the Americans. Please do not forget to subscribe, like, and also share. I'll see you on my next one.